Okay, so we just paused and researched because we needed to know. We should have done this before we started recording, but we just looked up. And so this is a real band. Their name is Crackshot, which I don't know. I think they did say Crackshot in now
They
that I'm
probably did.
thinking. I think they did because I think I remember seeing a CD or something like that, which even, well, whatever. So they are a real band. But they debuted in 2015, and they are kind of a glam rock band.
Annyeonghaseyo! Welcome to Afternoona Delight. We're Leah, Megan, and Amy, romance novelists and your K-romance guides. So grab some dekboki and listen to your new favorite unnies.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Hello.
We never know how to start when it's just the two of us.
But we did that. It was at the same time. That was really good.
Yeah.
I was very impressed. I'm not fully there today. It was funny. My husband just came up at like 10:30 to my office and he was like, "Did you mean to turn the crock pot on?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did. It's on high." And he's like, "It's on high, but it's not plugged in."
Well, there's that.
I was like, "Great.
Yeah.
Great." So the pot roast is going to be mostly frozen for another few hours.
Oh, no.
I know.
Just so everybody knows who's listening, Megan and I, it's Amy and Megan, by the way. Hi, I'm Amy.
Mm-hmm. I'm Megan.
And we are recording on a Wednesday morning. And we will record again tonight with Leah. It's not that Leah is missing. It's that we watched a drama that Leah didn't. And we're like, you know what? We're going to pod on it. So
yeah. So that's why it's like 11 a.m. now. Well, East Coast time, which is, it's weird for us. I'm used to it being like dark outside. And sometimes I have a glass of wine as I'm recording. But we're excited about this one because here's the deal. We're going to talk today about My Dearest Nemesis, which literally just finished like
Monday,
2 days ago. Yeah. So I'm really proud of us because we watched this mostly live.
Yep.
And then we are pretty timely. So go us.
Seriously.
Yeah. But let's get into it because we're going to be doing a lot of recording later today. So let's get right to like the meat of it. My Dearest Nemesis is a 2025 drama starring Choi Hyun-wook and Moon Ga-young that just finished airing. So as we said, your noonas minus Leah watch this drama, which means we get to be on the ball and get this deep dive to you pretty quickly. So right now, we are still in the non-spoiler section. When we move into spoilers, we'll give you a heads up. So first of all, let's give a quick blurb for My Dearest Nemesis. Now, I wrote this one, and let me just say, like, if I was like serious about this blurb, I definitely would have sent it to Amy to edit. So like, bear with me if it's clunky. Okay, but
I thought it was good. Don't sell yourself short.
I really didn't like the Asian wiki blurb, and it was very long. It was like 3 paragraphs for no reason. So anyway, let me know what you think about this one. In her position as a team leader for a department store in Seoul, Baek Soo-jung is known as the director killer for her strong work ethic and unwillingness to back down from anyone, even her superiors, which often results in her directors quitting. But her latest director, Bon Joo-yeon, is unfazed by her reputation, and as the possible successor to Young-sun and only grandson to the chairwoman, he has something to prove. Their chemistry at work turns into a personal affection, but what they don't know is that they already met once, and each is responsible for the other's first love and first heartbreak. If their secret romance being uncovered doesn't break them, then the truth of their identities might. So is that okay?
Really good. Yeah. I think you got it all.
It was kind of hard because you kind of got to get in a whole bunch of stuff. But anyway,
you've got stakes. You've got stakes there at the end. So
I'm telling you,
important.
Amy's influence has drastically changed how I write blurbs. One thing, I think this is which for this one, I did include a lot of details, but sometimes blurbs actually include too many details. Like, people don't need to know tons of proper names. I would say, like, in a blurb, you don't need to say what their nicknames were in the video game, which we're going to get to, stuff like that. So sometimes I think people get, like, too fancy with blurbs or too detailed. You don't usually need that.
Nope.
Okay.
This is spot on.
Yeah, so let's talk about the tropes in this blurb, as well as what we know from the first few episodes of My Dearest Nemesis, because this was a very tropey drama, which I think is what got me interested in the first place. So yeah, why don't we throw out a couple tropes.
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, we've got office romance, right? Which
Yes.
we know that your Noonas love. Like we just did Love Scout. We love office romance. Can't go wrong. So that's like an almost like an auto watch for me these days is if I've got an office rom-com, yep, give it to me. So I love that. And then we have, and it's like a no surprise, like earlier connection between the two, right? Like we know this from the blurb. We know this from episode 1 that they have a connection from when they were younger. So I do love me a second chance romance. I mean, I've
It
talked about
is.
that before. Second chance romance is my bread and butter. Almost every book I write is a second chance romance. I can't let it go. And so that is so butter for me. I love it.
Didn't this one feel a little fated mates in a contemporary
Yeah, of
setting?
course.
The
I
fact
mean,
that they met once, but then they were again drawn to each other because there felt like a faded element to it when they met again.
yeah, and that's something that I've talked about that I love when contemporary dramas are able to make that work. And when you've got people who met when they were younger but don't remember each other, which is such a big trope in K-drama, like absolutely, and they come together out of circumstances beyond their control, I absolutely love that.
And they're a little bit like enemies to lovers too, because they don't get along at first. She really has this reputation at the office as really wearing down her superiors until they quit. And it's because she's so dogged and dedicated to her job that she'll essentially call out her directors for being bad employees.
Right.
And so she kind of has this reputation. So when the new director comes in, she's trying to play nice, but she's still very much like, if this director is the same as others, I'm going to do the same thing as I've always done. Which was a cool dynamic, I think, between the two of them.
Yeah, and the way that the enemies to lovers situation is dealt with is funny too. Like how he
Yeah.
kind of keeps how he kind of keeps it under control. Yeah, so we'll get into more stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those are probably the big ones. Well, and then you do have
I mean, poor
Secret
little rich
Identity.
boy. We have the poor little rich
Poor
boy
little
trope.
rich boy.
Yeah.
Poor little rich boy trope. Oh man, and he does it really well, like especially later in the
Yeah.
drama. He does it really, really well. And yeah, so yeah, and I would say Secret Identities too.
Yep.
They will get to Choi Hyun-yuk's or Bon
Both of them.
Joo-young's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Choi Hyun-wook and Moon Ga-young are the leads. So have you seen them, either of them, in other dramas before? And what did you think about their characters?
If I get to do another first episode, trope-tastic first episode, I think I'm gonna make you guys watch Twinkling Watermelon because
Yeah,
I know you already love Choi Hyun-wook.
I
And
love
so
him.
you haven't seen him in Twinkling Watermelon, and he is like it's peak him in Twinkling Watermelon. That's my only other drama with him, and I absolutely loved him in that.
Mhm.
So good. So I was really excited for this one because I haven't seen him in anything other than that. And then no, this is my first Moon Ga-young, and I really like her. Really,
Yeah.
really like her. So I thought this was a great pairing. I liked her from the moment she stepped on screen. And yeah, she kind of clicked with me. So I was really excited.
Yeah, so I have seen Choi Hyun-wook in 2521, and I was obsessed with him in 2521. Like, he was such a good character. So he was um like a side character as well. He was like friends with Kim Tae-ri, the lead, um in high school, and he was the same. He was kind of this like um unloved child in high school, but what was interesting was that character acted out. Like his response was to act out, which in My Dearest Nemesis, that wasn't his reaction. So
Hmm.
it was definitely a different character, but he was so charming in 2521, and he had a romance as well. He had a romance with the kind of the fencing rival of Kim Tae-ri, and it was adorable romance. And so I really, really loved him. And to be honest, I wasn't like stoked about My Dearest Nemesis. I wasn't really in the mood for another office romance.
Because we had
But
we
we
had
had
just finished Love Scout.
just finished Love Scout, and I really felt like I was ready to move on to not an office romance. But then people were saying, we got listeners were saying it was really charming, and I love him. And then Moon Ga Young, so I saw her in Tempted. And again, Tempted is a kind of take on Cruel Intentions. And in Tempted, she played the Sarah Michelle Gellar role, which essentially is like the villain role. But in Tempted, she played it so well that you hated her, but you also sympathized with her. I think she played that nuanced role very, very well in Tempted. So I did want to see her in something else. I think she was in True Beauty, right?
Yeah, she was.
Wasn't that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't see True Beauty.
I didn't
Leah
either.
did. And so I was excited to see her in something like this where she was the lead. And I still thought she played like a nuanced character really well. She's kind of like a brash, in a way, brash. She's again, known as the director killer. People really look up to her. She's very strong. She maintains that strength throughout the entire drama.
Yeah.
I thought, her character was very balanced and also consistent. So
Yeah. And what I didn't mention about Choi Hyun-wook in Twinkling Watermelon is he does play a high schooler in that. Twinkling Watermelon, if you don't know about it, it's a time travel story. And it's actually, while there is romance in it, it's really the story of a father and a son. And it is modern day teen, gets in a fight with his father, goes to sell his guitar because the guitar is like the source of their fight, and goes to sell his guitar at this like random music shop. When he walks out of the music shop, he's in like 1995 when his father is a high schooler, and he meets and befriends his own dad. And it's like their whole relationship. And so Choi Hyun-wook is the dad. He is a high schooler. He is a very loved, he's raised by his grandmother and very loved by her, very loved by all his friends. So very different character. And also like just typical high schooler. Like he's girl crazy. He will do anything to get the girl. And the whole point of the story is the girl that he is head over heels for and like has no idea how to play an instrument, but wants to form a band to play at this like competition to win this girl over. The girl is not the woman who's supposed to be the hero's mom. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So it's all about the main hero. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting names. I don't have the page open, and it's been a while. But we did do a podcast on this. Not with you and Leah. But the hero is Coda, a child of deaf adults. And so his parents are both hearing impaired. And when he goes back in time, his dad as a teen is not hearing impaired. So he thinks that his mission is to make sure that his dad falls in love with his mom, and to make sure that his dad doesn't have whatever accident happened to have him lose his hearing. So that's the sort of setup for it. But yeah, I mean, he is this fun-loving teenager who will do anything to get the girl. So very different from the buttoned up chaebol that he plays here, and who has to hide everything about himself.
Yeah. So yeah, speaking of him, Bong Joon-hyun, played by Choi Hyun-wook, is a man who needs to hide the things he loves in order to be the perfect successor to impress his grandmother. And more on her in this relationship later. So one of his loves, and again, these are not spoilers, like this is all episode 1. So one of his loves is rock music. So what are your thoughts? I need to discuss this. What are your thoughts on the music that's portrayed in the drama, and also like the outfit choices necessary that he needs to don in order to be a proper rock music fan?
I mean, all right. So what do we want to call this music? And no shade to the music.
It's 80s.
It's like 80s hair
metal
screaming. Yeah.
And look, my first concert with Bon Jovi. I am not an 80s
I love
hair
Bon
band
Jovi
hater.
too. I love 80s hair bands, but it's 2025.
But it's 2025.
And this is an underground like club that he's going to. And dressing and like, dude, give me the leather jacket and the Doc Martens, that's fine. But like it is so overkill, like the bandana around his head, the hennaed tattoo on his back, like full
of
back
a black dragon.
Of a black dragon.
I cannot handle the outfit choices. Like everything about it is straight out of the 80s.
And I'm super cheesy. It's super cheesy, but so funny.
It's super cheesy. But who designed, like, who's like, I mean, I have heard Korea's, like, the rock music that they are doing now. I have heard it's amazing. Like, I don't understand why the choice was to give him like 80s rock music.
Because it's not even like this is the music he missed out on as a young teen. when his,
No.
when his grandmother was kind of suppressing his joy, which we'll
Oh,
get
it's
to
a
more later.
modern band.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, even if this was something that he missed out, like, it's only 10 years ago that he was a teen, and this
Right.
music was still old for
Right.
that time.
Right. It's the craziest choice. And like the full outfit that he needs. I guess I just don't. I understand. Like I'm a K-pop fan. Like I do outfits when I go to K-pop concerts. Like I I get that. Like I get like getting into like your fandom, but like he's just it's like he needs to he needs to completely don this persona.
I
Like I'm
mean,
like you could if you're really trying to hide it, you can go to these concerts in a suit. Like no one's stopping you. It's just
I get that a
crazy.
suit is not his normal wear. Like, he
I
wears that
get
for
it.
work. But when he's just chilling at home, he's not in, like, the leather and
No.
the yeah, so
It's just overkill outfit. And it's just it's again, it's the music choice that slays me. And credit to Choi Hyunuk who like pretends like he's rocking out to this like l- just totally outdated music. I just and again, I don't care if
no.
it's the fact that they're trying to make it seem like this is what's happening in 2025 and I'm
And, like,
like
that this is a
where
cool underground club
cool
where
underground
all of the
club,
young kids are hanging out.
all the young dudes, all the young dudes. They're all at this club. Like I've seen videos. I have not been to Itaewon, but I've seen videos of Itaewon,
This isn't it.
and this is I just love it. I love it so much that this is the choice. And that Choi Hoonuk is like, if this is my role, I'm gonna sell it. And he did. He sold it. He looked adorable in his
He
little
went all
bandana.
in. Oh, absolutely, he went all
He
in.
went all in.
With his
He
sunglasses at night, like,
it's
yeah.
it's sunglasses at night. Oh my god, I love it. I just needed to talk about that because it feels like the elephant in the room that we're expected to believe that this is his like
Right.
thing, but it's fine. He has other hobbies. Like, he likes comic books, which that's fine. Like,
Everything is fine. I mean,
everything is
we're
fine.
not yucking his yum. We just don't get the
No,
choice.
it's an odd choice. It's an odd choice because how old is he supposed to be?
Like 25, I think.
Right? Okay, that's
I think he's 25 and she's 29.
yeah. Because I think she's supposed to be like 29, right?
Yeah. That's what I
Okay,
think. So I think he's like 25.
that's what I thought. Okay, well that I needed to get that off my chest. Okay, so we talk a lot about how competence is hot. You can see our Love Scout deep dive for that. So Baek Soo Jung, played by Moon Ga Young, really can do it all. She works for her hardware store owner father, as well as leads like a whole department store planning team. It seems like she can do everything. So, like, did you love this about her? Did it feel cool to see a female lead just being like so competent?
Yeah, she's like a licensed electrician. Like, that was
Wild.
amazing. And I
Mhm.
loved it. I loved that her father has taught her all this, and she's like actually got like the certifications for it. That and this isn't like a huge spoiler, but there's a point later in the drama where she kind of changes positions in the company because of something happening, and ends up working on the maintenance team for a little bit, and none of the maintenance dudes like want anything to do with her until there is an electrical failure in like their big, like, it was like a computer server or something like that. And she's
Mhm.
like, I got it. I got this. Because they couldn't, like, an electrician couldn't get there for hours and they needed this server back up. And she's like, just, step aside, boys. And she fixes it. And from like there on out, she has everybody's respect. And
Right.
I think it's awesome. Like, give this woman who's very beautiful and very feminine throughout, but also give her something that shows that she's up to the task. Like, she can do anything a boy can do. Whatever boys can do, girls can do better,
Mhm.
and she did.
I love that about her. I mean, I know we just saw Love Scout where we also had a really competent heroine, but like I can't get enough. And
Yeah.
I loved Moon Ga Young's character because she was so confident in herself after like the heartbreak of her like late teens. I think she was 19 at the time. She really was like, no one will ever look down on me again. Like, I am going to be super successful. And she was. She was very successful at her job. And I do want to shout out her father. So that's played
Yeah.
by Ko Chong Suk. I loved him. His little smile was like the
Adorable.
cutest thing I've ever seen. Like, if we're going to talk about supportive parents, let's shout him out.
Because all he ever says is that he wants her to be happy. Like
Yeah, and he's like,
he approves of her choices if she's happy.
and he's always like, "Are you okay?" The way he asks her every time she comes home, he's like, "Are you doing okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, thank you, Dad. Just ask." Like that's, like I
And he
loved
genuinely
him.
wants to know. Like he's not just hoping for, yeah, I'm
No,
fine. He wants to know.
he's like actually like begging to be there for her. He's like,
Yep.
"Let me be there for you," because she took on a lot of responsibility when her mom passed. And a lot of responsibility for herself, for her brother, because her dad obviously was like grieving, trying to support the family. And so I just, yeah, shout out to her dad because he was fantastic. But Moon Ga Young's character was just so go getter. Like I was confident. Like whenever she had to like do a task in the drama, I was like, oh, she's got it. She's got it. This will be super successful because she's amazing. And it was like inspiring to me. Okay, so My Dearest Nemesis has a theme that is very on par with the mission statement of this podcast, which is love what you love without shame and find your pockets of joy. I guess the background of this is Choi Hyun-yuk. He has things he loves, and we'll get to it, but he's had to kind of suppress a lot of that because he has to be the perfect grandson and the perfect successor. And in a way, that's part of the theme of the drama is that Baek Soo Jong's character is letting him know that it's like okay to love what you love. Like he hates espresso, he hates it, but he drinks it because he thinks that's what he needs to do to be like the perfect
All he
like
wants is a
successor.
chocolate milk
And
box.
all he wants is a choco milk. That's all he wants. So yeah, did this resonate with you?
Yeah. I was going to say, all I've been thinking about since finishing this drama is, and I'll say it now on the pod, which means we'll have to do it, is I think part of our promo for this pod should be us sharing some photos or reels of the way that we express what we love in our fandoms, like throughout our houses.
Oh, that's a great idea, Amy.
Throughout all of our, I mean, I'm thinking about like, I
love that.
I have a Taylor Swift like vent clip in my car. I have a little, Kim Seokjin RJ little guy that stands on my dashboard.
Yep.
Behind me, I mean, you can't see what they are, but like there's my row of BTS Funko Pops and my picture of Hyun Bin and
I was gonna say that's Hyun Bin because I have it right in front of me.
My Gongyu and Lee Min-ho calendars, my little like dangly astronaut ornament, like all of my fandom is displayed.
Right.
And I'm proud of it. Like, yes, this is in my bedroom that I'm showing you right here, but like it's only because there's no room for it anywhere else in the house. Otherwise I would like proudly show it off. I mean, I've got in my living room, I've got a picture of, that famous picture of my kids and I with Chris Evans and Tom Hiddleston. All the fandom stuff I love showing it. I had my coffee out of a Crash Landing on You mug this morning. It gives me so much joy to see the things that I love, like displayed proudly throughout my space. And that's what broke my heart the most in this drama is that he couldn't do that.
Right. He lived in like this really sterile apartment and he only had this like little room that he kept everything in, which we'll get to the room. But yeah, and so he had to hide everything he loved and he couldn't even like drink the drinks he liked. And part of it was the expectations his grandmother put on him, but it was also the expectations I think he put on himself.
Yes, for
so
sure.
I think this was definitely twofold. And so I mean I completely agree. It was interesting because I was just listening to a podcast this morning. It's this like it's called Scamfluencer, but it's about like scams. And it was about this man who loved playing video games so much that he then proceeded to like fake getting like top scores in like Donkey Kong and Pac-Man. And it was funny because the hosts were like, can we just promote like hobbies as hobbies? Like, why are we always like monetizing hobbies? Why are we always
competing?
Like, can you just like can you just enjoy your hobbies? And it made me think a lot about fandoms and yeah, like just let us like what we like and like hobbies are like good and healthy. And the mental health of Bon Joon like suffered so much because he was forced to like be someone he wasn't and hide things he loves. And so and again, that's very much our podcast as well, is we're like love what you love and find the communities as well, because he was like held back from his community of, let's say, comic book lovers or his community of rock music
80s hair band.
80s hair band. Stop. Anyway, but he was definitely like held back from those communities, and how much happier and healthier would he have been if he was able to like be in community with the fandoms that he loves? You know what I mean?
Yep.
I personally really loved that about this drama. I thought the theme was really wholesome and lovely. And again, is this drama perfect? We'll get to it. No. But I what did you say about this drama that was really perfect? Hold
Are
on.
you going to make
Where
me
did
try to remember? Was it in Slack?
I want to say this because it was really good. Here it is. So I remember Amy sent this to me in Slack, and she says, this was when I think this was when you had watched up to episode 10, I'm not going to say that part, but you said,
Okay.
it's not a perfect drama as far as story goes, but here is my assessment. Endearing characters with good, believable chemistry can make a drama hit all the emotional beats, even if the story is nothing new. That is what you said. And I think that sums up this drama very, very well, which
I'm so
we'll
smart.
get. You are smart. It was like the perfect, succinct way, in my opinion. There was nothing groundbreaking in this drama, but the leads had chemistry and they were charming and likable, and you wanted to see them on the screen.
Yes.
Together.
And the whole cast, and we'll talk about the second leads after we do our K-pop rec, but like the whole cast was so charming that it kept me. I do think, and this is the last thing I'll say before we move on to the spoiler round. I do think I would have felt differently about this drama had I been forced to binge it. But I think watching 2 episodes a week was plenty. And I enjoyed it, but I was okay waiting that time for the next episodes to come as well.
Yeah. I almost was like, I would watch 2 episodes and be like, I'm done. Like, I'm good. I don't need to binge this. And
It wasn't like Love Scout when I watched 7 episodes in a weekend. Like,
right. That was like, oh, that was really compelling. I think My Dearest Nemesis was just sort of like fun to watch, you know?
It was sweet. It
was very sweet.
Okay, so before we move on to our spoiler section of the podcast, we have our K-pop rec of the week. And Megan, what do you have for us today?
Yeah, so I'm going to recommend Like JENNIE by JENNIE from Blackpink. So it's really been fun to watch the Blackpink members come out with their solo projects. JENNIE was never my bias. I would say Rosé was, and while I prefer kind of Rosé's like single songs, I still love JENNIE, and Like JENNIE is really fun. It's a really fun song, really catchy. I've kind of had it in my head all day. And the kind of like dance challenge, everyone's doing it. I mean, literally, it's all over Instagram, probably all over TikTok. I don't have TikTok. And so that's been really fun to see and I think she's just been getting like so much love. She's been on a lot of US talk shows and things like that, which is really, really neat. I actually saw a news article that she went on, I forget now which, I think it was Jennifer Hudson's talk show.
Okay.
And she was like, this is my favorite snack. And it's this like banana type snack. And the sales like went through the roof on this snack.
Of course.
I mean, crazy. So, good for JENNIE. So yeah, it's Like JENNIE by JENNIE from Blackpink. Now we're going to head into Spoiler Town. So guitar riff.
Like, I feel Bill and Ted.
Me too. Right? Every rose has its thorn. Okay, so
totally, that's Poison would be like the best comparison.
It's
to what the way that he's dressed. He's dressed like Bret Michaels. Like he's got the Bret Michaels bandana.
Exactly, and the lead singer of the band he likes looks like Bret Michaels. I mean, long hair,
Korean Bret Michaels. Yeah,
Korean Bret Michaels.
Love what you love. That's what the whole podcast is about. That's what the whole drama is about. Love what you love. We just are trying to comprehend the choice.
Okay, so we just paused and researched because we needed to know. We should have done this before we started recording, but we just looked up. And so this is a real band. Their name is Crackshot, which I don't know. I think they did say Crackshot in now that I'm thinking. I think they did, because I think I remember seeing a CD or something like that, which whatever. So they are a real band. They debuted in 2015, and they are kind of a glam rock band. So fair.
So I'm gonna go back and say now. So if they debuted in 2015, this could have been a band that Bon Ji-young was getting into when he was a young teen, and then because of stuff we'll get into now in the spoiler section. So please keep in mind we are in the spoiler section. I can say whatever the fuck I want right now. Because he cut himself off from everything that he loved, not by his own volition, but because his grandmother basically made him. This could have been a band that he was just getting into. And so this band is nostalgic for him now. Because according to research, they haven't released anything in about 6 years.
6 years. I mean, their last full album was in like 2019. So
it makes sense now. It makes sense.
It still doesn't, because you're telling me that like every weekend they're playing in this club. You're telling me this band is still every weekend playing in this club.
If they debuted in 2015 and they really are a crack shot, right?
Like I need.
But so they're playing a fictional version of themselves. Is basically what I think, because at the end,
is fair.
At the end, they get sponsored to go on tour. So this could be also Crackshot's resurgence, like them showing up in My Dearest Nemesis. Because now I want to research more and be like, all right, somebody in this drama is either connected to Crackshot or is a fan of Crackshot.
Because again, this is not
like Crackshot, we love you. We love you.
Yeah, this is not a hate on the music. This is a disbelief that you're selling me that this is, again, what a 25-year-old man in 2025 is doing. That is what you're trying to sell me, and that's what I'm not believing. Does that make sense?
Yes. But again, I'm gonna play devil's advocate and go on the defense and say, if they debuted in 2015, that would have been around the time that our hero was just getting into the band and then had to stifle that. So I think it's more nostalgia for him. I think it's more because a lot of his personality, all of the stuff that he loves that he hides in this room behind his study, is all the stuff that people would judge is wildly off for the age that he is for him to be into.
You know what? You're right.
You know?
So maybe that this is in line with like chocolate milk, comics, his little toys, his everything. Maybe you're right. I'm still having a hard time with it, but I will accept this devil's advocacy.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
I will accept it. I'm glad we talked this out.
Same.
Because again, I love this music. Like, trust me.
Same.
You put on Bon Jovi, and I'm going to rock the fuck out. So, I love Poison.
I still have my I think it's New Jersey, Bon Jovi, New Jersey record, like vinyl, that I got when it came out in the 80s.
I mean, but even when I was liking...
Right. When you were liking Bon Jovi was no longer an 80s hair band.
Well, correct. Like when I started liking Bon Jovi,
into the 90s.
I was outdated. Like I was liking Poison, and Poison was playing at my county fair. Like, let's be real. Like already hair bands were on the outs when I realized, when I like came into like understanding music and things like that. So, anyway, but I will still accept this. So, okay. Like many K-dramas, My Dearest Nemesis shows a childhood or early adulthood connection between our leads. While playing a video game online, Soo-jung, who goes by the name Strawberry, meets Black Dragon, a man who she believes is a few years older. Through the video game chat feature, they bond and are there for each other during pivotal times in their lives. But when they meet in person, their dreams of a perfect first love crash down. Black Dragon is Joo-yeon, and he's a young teenager. I think he's 15, they say, compared to Soo-jung's 19. So he's a minor, and Soo-jung is
almost an adult.
Aware of that. And so she feels betrayed and hurls hurtful words at a young Joo-yeon after he confesses his love to her. So from then on, they refer to that meeting as a dark time in our lives. So yeah, what did we think of this like childhood connection and how that played out later?
So, like, first of all, they meet in person. Like the whole gaming group meets in person, and they do not get a chance to learn each other's real names when they meet in person, because they have this, like altercation of his confession, her like brutally turning him down in public. And so they never learn each other's names. So that's important to note of why they wouldn't know who each other are. Here's what I think is funny. I always love a childhood connection. And I think this is a fun one. Because she felt catfished, and rightfully
Mhm.
so, because he did,
Mhm.
she assumed he was older, and then he let her believe that. Like, he kept it going. And what I did love is that when they would be chatting through the game, it would show them dressed up as their avatars. And even though he was wearing a mask, you could clearly tell that, like, her imagination of his avatar was played by Choi Hyun-wook.
Mhm.
But when they meet in real life, Moon Ga-young plays herself, and they have a younger kid play him to show that he's clearly not who she thought he was. And I
Right.
actually liked this.
I did too. I
I
thought
thought it was well
really
done
good.
because she had this vision of who he was,
Mhm.
and we did too. We were like, "Oh, that's totally him. It's Choi Hyun-wook."
Yeah,
And so
and it's all exciting. Yeah.
yes, and so when they're sitting at the restaurant and waiting for Black Dragon to walk in, I'm totally expecting him because I know that he's younger than her in real life. So I'm like, he's gonna walk in and he's just gonna be younger. And they have this child pretty much like walk in who looks I mean, I don't know how old he was in real life, but he definitely looks younger. Like, they're like, "Are you a middle schooler?" Like,
100% he looks young. He's got a young
he's
haircut.
wearing a
Like
wig. He's wearing a wig so that he,
Oh,
like, hoping that he looks older, remember?
right, right.
And he's dressed the way that Bong Joon-ho dresses when he goes to see Crackshot in his 20s. Like, he's dressed like
Mhm.
that then. So we get that
Mhm.
that's like his thing. You know, I liked this plot line. I thought it was fun. I thought it was believable that 10 years later they might not recognize each other, especially
Oh, for
like
sure.
he was prepubescent, right?
Yeah.
And now he's a man. They never learned each other's names. They've had no contact since then. So yeah, I thought it was believable. I did. And
Yeah.
I also thought, even though it is not a huge trauma, that when you are a teen and you have your first love and you get so brutally rebuffed, as Cher Horowitz would say, that is very traumatic. Like,
Yeah.
everything when you are a teen is life or death. And so for
Mhm.
them to both be holding on to that as like the worst, like, experience with love that they've ever had, I believed it. I absolutely believed it because that's how a teen would feel. And those feelings from your teens, I mean, like, we all have shit that, like, we remember from high school that we will always kind of never get over, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So yeah, I totally believed it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when they meet, also, she is wearing a scarf, a hat, and glasses. So, like,
Yes.
you can barely even see what
And
she
has
looks
bangs.
like.
And she has
Oh,
bangs.
and has bangs. And so, yeah, you can't really tell. And so, yeah, I mean, I liked it just because, so already he has like another massive trauma that we're going to get to.
Yeah.
So the fact that they gave him this like first love trauma, I thought was nice that they weren't like piling on this guy and giving him like way more than he can handle. And what I liked too is it did like fuel both of their characters, because at that point she's like, no one will ever look down on me again, because the point is he confesses to her in a crowd of strangers, and when he confesses, that's so embarrassing to her,
Because
because
she's
it's like this
bullied
like
at school. She's bullied at school for not having a mom, for having,
right.
a single father.
Right. Oh yeah, that too, and so she's like, no one will ever look down on me. And I also think that that's the point where, Bong Joon-ho is also like, "I have to hide what I like, because if I'm myself, I
Nobody
get
wants me.
rejected.
Yep.
Nobody wants me. If I'm myself," because she also made fun of how he dressed. Again, she was, like, 19, she was angry at him. I don't she was really mean, but
It
then
was
I'm like,
cruel. But
she
she
was cruel, but
recognizes
then
later that it's cruel. Like,
she does. And also, like, if that happened to me when I was 19 and, like, some 15-year-old was catfishing me, I'd be pretty friggin'
yeah.
pissed too. I
Yeah,
mean,
for sure.
seriously. And after learning the truth about each other, so they learn that, she's Strawberry and he's Black Dragon. So the truth comes out, and they've already been dating at this point. They start to remember the good conversations they had, because they were really there for each other, in a way that they weren't getting from anyone else in their lives. So they began to see that first meeting from each other's perspectives, which helps them find a way to like maintain their relationship. So I guess, was that believable to you? I personally liked how the resolution came about, because they actually they separated and then had to kind of like confront what happened back then. And they kind of had to both realize that they were kind of wrong. They treated the situation poorly, and then had to figure out like what was going on within themselves that they reacted that way. Because Moon Ga Young's character is kind of like, I kind of hated myself at that time, and so when this last safety net was like broken for me, I took it out on you.
Yeah, I really loved it. Like I was also glad that it wasn't a huge rift in their adult relationship because I was like, okay, I get their trauma, but this is not something that you break up forever over. And so
I know. I
I was
agree.
glad that like the separation was mainly like she's like I can't trust you.
Right.
Like you're the person who hurt me. And he's like, and you're the person who made me feel like I could be myself and that I couldn't, you know. And so I thought it was very believable. And I also liked that their separation was very short and it turned comedic because it was like their best friends bringing them back together and forcing them to face each other. And it was
Mhm.
all very cute. And I do like that it forced them both, like you said, to turn around and remember that situation from the other person's shoes. Because when it
Yeah,
happened, neither of them were empathetic towards what the other must have been going through. Neither of them
exactly.
knew. Now they know each other as adults. She knows that he is 100% hiding who he is from his grandmother because she's making
Mhm.
him. And he knows that, you know, she's always been trying to prove herself and that, you know, the betrayal that she had from him just kind of made her all the more less trusting of people in her life. So yeah, I really liked it. And I liked that it because part of me was like, okay, how much of a separation are we going to have because of this? Because it could have gotten silly. Like there
Yeah, you're
wasn't
kind of
from
like get over it, right? I
yes, there
mean, to
wasn't
be honest.
enough trauma. And so I did like that they just kind of like talked it out and were like, I didn't realize how you felt.
Yeah,
And that was great. That's a healthy way to deal with a
very true.
relationship.
I completely agree. I liked how they had to talk it out and how they had to be like, "Hey, now I'm seeing this from a different perspective." It was
Yep.
really cool. I mean, yeah, we should mention there's a lot of comedic moments in this that really give like a lightness to the drama, which it's a very good. It's a very I think the calm aspect of it,
Is strong.
um, yeah, is strong. I laughed. I kind of squirmed at times. I thought they both did the comedy well because they both had to do some comedy. And let's talk about the rom part. Let's talk about their chemistry. And I need to talk about Choi Hyunuk's sex appeal. I got to talk about this because he get I think he's young, right? He's like 23 or something.
He's very young. And so it's
Okay,
I mean, I saw this question and was like, I'm gonna let you talk because
let me talk.
I'm almost 10 years older than you. So like I love him to death. I do not find him sexy
Okay,
because of how young he
too.
is.
I agree. He still looks a little too young. He still does. Like he needs to kind of like
He looks so young.
he does look really young, but yet there is something about him that I think once he gets older, it's going to be really good. There is a sex appeal to him that I really like. I feel like he is going to have an amazing, amazing post-military glow up. Like I'm
23.
calling it now.
23.
Yeah. See, that's what I thought. He's 23. So that's what I'm saying. I think he is going to have an amazing post-military glow up, right? Don't you think? Like
Yes,
just
I'm very excited to see how he ages, but
me too.
I cannot look at him like that right now.
That's fair. That is totally fair. There is something though
I love
about
him
his
in this. Don't get me wrong. I think he's
yeah.
a great romantic lead. I am not
There's just something about him that
attracted to him that way.
I don't always feel this way with leads. There's something about him where I was like, I want to see how he kisses. And I truly don't always feel that way. Sometimes I'm just like enjoying there's
He
something
does
about
some
him that
adult kissing. He does.
he does. There's something about him that gives me a little bit of like Udo Wan vibes in that way, where I'm like, there's something about him that gives me a sex appeal and makes me want to know. And so, yeah, I really did like their chemistry. I mean, it's a Nuna romance. Like we did forget to name that as a trope. It's a Nuna romance, and he's younger than her in real life and in the drama.
Yep.
And I thought that the dynamic of a Nuna romance was done throughout. Like they don't try to disguise that. It
Nope.
feels like a Nuna romance. And because I don't think she mothers him, but I do think there's a way that her maturity helps him. So like her maturity is seen as like an asset to him and to this relationship instead of it being like, oh God, it's a younger man going, look at him with this hag. Like, I mean, it's like she's seen as it's good for him that she's older. And
Yeah.
okay, so Ban Shu Yun's backstory was a doozy. On the way to an event featuring his favorite cartoon, Ju-yun and his parents are in a car accident, and his parents lose their lives. Ju-yun survives, but his paternal grandmother blames him for the death of her son and proceeds to treat Ju-yun like dirt for the rest of his childhood. She burns his toys,
While
which
he's
is
screaming and crying,
he's screaming and crying,
banging at the gate in the backyard
yeah,
of their estate.
It's so let's talk about this. This is I mean, we've seen it before where I think we've seen where grandparents blame. Like, what other drama am I thinking of now? Where the kids' parents die, taking them to an amusement park. Which one was that?
Um, Business Proposal.
That's it. They die taking it. Yeah,
when it's
okay,
raining. That's why he can't be in the rain.
And now he has rain phobia in Korea. But
where umbrellas are like ubiquitous with K-drama.
Never be over the rain trauma. So yeah, again, like you had, like I read your message. This is nothing new. That his parents die, in a car accident. He lives, and then he has to kind of like be the role, or be the successor, and he's treated like dirt by his living family members, and it's nothing new. But yet, God, Choi Hyun-yuk played it great, didn't he?
And so did, like, I want to give credit to now I'm not gonna I need to give credit to the kid who played him when he was younger, because that was the kid who was there for the burning of the
trauma.
toys.
Right, burning of the toys. Very, very good crying, screaming, yelling, and just utter devastation as she burned his toys.
Yes. Moon Woo-jin plays Ban Ju-yeon as a teen, and he is the one who is there in his... Was it the day that she rejected him? Because he's wearing all the leather and stuff like that. Basically, he's had to hide like all the things that he loves, especially this Pirate King plushie, because that's the convention he was going to. It was like a Pirate King convention. And so he had this plushie that his parents gave him, like, in the car on the way, right? So that's like his favorite comic, his favorite toy. And she finds a Pirate King plushie, like, hidden amongst his stuff in his room, and takes the Pirate King plushie and everything else that he has, like,
toy related. You don't deserve this. You killed my son, which is insanity.
Insane. Like, right. What if they had been on the way to school? Like,
insane.
It's insane. And so, like, she has her, like, henchmen, like, burn everything at a bonfire in the backyard. And Moon Woo-jin, playing young Ban Ju-yeon, is screaming, crying, and it is so heartbreaking. So, because I, like, at first, when we see his, like, secret lair and all the toys and stuff that he has, like, you feel like it's a little bit silly. And then you see this, and then you think about, or at least I think about, all of my Funkos here, and, all of my other, like, paraphernalia stuff that I have, lying around my house of things that I love. And I am decades older than him and have zero shame about it, and love that I get to love these things. Like, I have a freaking Captain America poster on my closet door behind me. And this, like, kid, this child, his one living relative, after he just got his heart demolished by his crush, is burning all the things that he loved. It's horrible.
Like, it is. I was like,
it's horrible.
No wonder.
Worst Helmoni ever in K-drama.
Worst Helmoni. I mean, it's awful. She burns his stuff in front of him. And again, these are like memories. Like, the thing is, these things, material things, I mean, I know we say, but, like, they do matter. They matter. And these material things
there was huge sentimentality to the Pirate King, because that was his parents. Yeah.
He was holding it in the car when his parents died. And he wanted to keep it, which, of course, like, it's crazy.
Screaming, crying on his knees, Helmoni, please, Helmoni, please, I'm sorry, Helmoni, please. It was horrible.
Yeah, I just remember, so when Dane was my son, when he was maybe like 6, he was really young, and he loved Minecraft, and we drove to Philadelphia and took him to this Minecraft convention for his birthday. And it was all for him. Like, Neil and I did not want to go to this Minecraft convention. It was for my son for his birthday. And so it made me think, like, what if, like, we got in a car accident, we died, my son lived, and then my parents then blamed him for our deaths. Like, you wanted it's because of Minecraft. Like, I just can't. Like, I totally internalized that and was like, that's insane. That's insane. I would return from the dead and haunt my parents if they did that. Like, absolutely, because that's crazy.
Like, they're all each other had, and all he wanted was her love.
Yeah.
And not only did he not get her love, but he got her blame. Insane.
Right. So I would say this drama midway through was losing a little bit of steam for me until episodes 9 and 10. I don't think I'm alone because I think some of our listeners kind of said the same thing. When the angst train really rolled in, and I mean, to be honest, I did have PMS this day, so maybe that had something to do with it, but I was kind of like leaking a few tears in episode 9 and 10. Because yeah, I mean, they notched up the angst like crazy. I mean, this was poor little rich boy maxed out, you know? This was like when the evil Harmony found like a picture of his parents,
Like,
and
we thought she had found his secret room, and instead
did,
she
but-
found that he kept a picture of
and she apparently thought that he didn't deserve to have a picture of his
No.
parents, which again is
him with his parents.
insane. A picture of him with his parents, insane that she freaked out. So we see him, you know, that we see he's like crying in his bed over like the heartbreak. I think because I think this is when the truth came out
Yeah, so they're not speaking.
about their identities. So like
Yes.
he was and so I thought the angst level was, I mean, honestly, I was running out of like, I just was like, I guess this drama is okay. I was actually like waffling, and then episodes 9 and 10 hit, and I was like, okay, like someone came in the writer room and decided to up the ante, and I was really pleased with the angst level. It was like just enough that I was like really feeling hooked by these characters,
Yeah.
and like, I wanted them back together so bad. Like, I was like really rooting for them. I love that they were kind of having this like secret romance. Because at
That
one
Harmony, of
point,
course, was against.
that Harmony was
Because
against.
there were rumors that they were dating, and Harmony is like, no.
Yeah, I was really pleased. I thought it was really good.
Well, and look, they threw in my favorite thing, which is Wounded Hero.
So wounded.
Because they aren't speaking. Like, they're both like trying to come to terms with being Strawberry and Black Dragon. And then she goes into work like nervous to see him, and he's not there. And she finds out that he's like at home with a terrible fever.
Oh, the best.
Can't get, can't get, out of bed or whatever. And she's like, she knows nobody's taking care of him. Right.
Mhm.
So she runs to the pharmacy and she's like, I need all of your medicine, all of it.
Hysterical. I need everything you have.
Everything
She
you
has
have,
No
and
idea
she
what's
goes-
wrong with him.
And she goes to his apartment, which I still don't understand how she's able to just get into his like
No
elevator
idea.
penthouse. But every
I know.
time she's able to get in when he's not there, or when
Right.
he's not able to open the door. And she walks in and he's collapsed on the floor, half dressed, trying to get his shoes on to go to work. And she's
Amazing.
like, absolutely not. Like, you're getting right in bed. And that's when we have the reconciliation, which I love. I love the Wounded Hero reconciliation, but I can't get out of my head that, like, this is what cracks me up. Like, when I can't get out of my head about things,
Same.
is that he sleeps, he medicates, he sleeps, and then he wakes up when she's like about to leave and grabs the hand, like always happens, and I love it. And then they both admit their feelings for each other and they start kissing. And I'm like, bro is just burning up with fever. Like, he's got to be so rank in those sweaty clothes that he's
Thank you.
sleeping in.
He had a fever
they
in these
make out,
clothes.
yeah.
He goes to bed, and then he's like, I'm fine, let's kiss. And I'm like, did you brush your teeth? Like, absolutely
Not
not.
only let's kiss, she goes to go home. He's like, do you really want to go home?
Yeah, I think then they go
And
into
she
bed
stays.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, she stays. I know. It's like, look, I love fantastical stuff like this, but I can't turn off.
I can't get the logic out of my head that, like,
It's like
bro had a
Healer.
fever and it's
like
gross.
Healer. It's Healer when he was rotting in bed for 3 days, and she shows up, and then they're like,
Then he gets his cherry popped. Yeah.
He gets his cherry popped. I can't deal. Like, it's same thing happened here, but the whole drama of like her going and he's collapsed, and then she takes care of him, and then he's like, don't leave, and she's like, okay, and then they're in bed. I love it. I love it.
I love it. I love it all. But I just want to be like, bro, brush your teeth and take a shower. That's all I need.
Absolutely. Yeah. Please wash up.
Like, please come out of the shower in your robe, and she's getting ready to leave, and then ask her to stay.
thank you, with the toothbrush in your mouth. Then
Yes.
I can handle it.
I'm here for it.
But I love the whole drama of that. And so it just really made this drama, it really endeared me to this drama, I would say, because I thought I was like ready for more romance, and then they gave it to me. And clearly this drama is built, it's called My Dearest Nemesis, where we're sold the romance. So like, you got to give it to me. You got to give me the angst, give me the longing, give me the crying, poor little rich boy crying in his sterile mansion, like, or sterile penthouse. Like, that is what I want. And they gave it to me.
And they did.
And so,
And one thing I do want to point out that we haven't like really touched on is
yeah,
when the drama starts and we've got the sort of like enemies thing going on because she is the director killer, he is always giving himself voice memos in his watch, which I think is hilarious and I love it. And he talks about how like threat level is high with her, like he doesn't trust her. And then she doesn't trust like what he does outside of the office for whatever reason, and follows him one day and catches him at the club seeing his band. And he's like, well, now I have to keep my, like, he like makes a contract, and it's like, because she's like, are you going to fire me? And he's like, no, but you can't ever talk about this. And so I need to keep an eye on you like 24/7. And makes her like attend a party with him, and like, you know, pretty woman's her into like a beautiful dress.
Oh my
and
God.
all that.
Yes. I totally forgot about the party.
Yes. And comes to her rescue when a creep is like hitting on her. But then what comes from this, when she's like, are you going to like make me like sit in your office all day long and like, you know, sort and like staple papers and stuff like that because he doesn't trust her. She's like, I wasn't going to share that video with anybody. She's like, I just, you know, wanted to have some dirt on you because, you know, that's just kind of how she is. She's like, I wasn't going to show that to anyone. She's like, why can't you just love what you love? She's the one who gave him that permission before they even started dating. And I think that's what turned into like a friends, like an enemies to friends to lovers kind of situation, because she was like, I don't care that you want to go listen to this music. And he's like, well, my grandmother can't know, like nobody can know. And she's the one who started getting it, like, would they meet out at was it like a Subway or whatever, and you know, drinking like a smoothie instead of an espresso, and like eating good food, whatever it was.
And she's the one who got him the signature of the crack shot lead singer
when he was at the department store buying sunglasses.
Yeah, it is true. They did become like, she was the first one that he could like share his loves with, and then and she was so accepting of it. Which again was different from what he remembered of his first love.
Right.
So it was kind of cool that they were the responsible for each other's trauma, but then they also healed each other's trauma, which I thought was really, really cool.
Yes.
Okay, so let's shout out our second leads. So Lim Semi plays Soha Jin, a restaurant owner and former gamer who knows Black Dragon and Strawberry. So she's the only one who knows the identities of both of them.
Because she was part of the gaming group.
Yes, and Kim Shin Won, played by Kwok Si Young, in a much different role than he played in Cafe Minamdong. So what
Which is the only thing we know him from. We know he's been in more, but like that's what we know him from.
Correct. So what do we think of this romance? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you want to eat at Sulo, which is Hajin's restaurant? I wanted to eat there so.
Oh my gosh, I loved it so much.
Loved it. The little restaurant was so cute. I love the lights. I love the interior. I loved how you could see her cook everything. I wanted to eat her food so bad.
Yes, I wanted a bowl of spicy ramen from her so bad.
Same.
So let me just say, because we've only seen Kwok Si-young in Cafe Minamdong,
right?
It took a while for me.
Where he plays a goober, like a total goober.
Like not just a goober, but like a goofy as fuck goober. Like he had almost like a Dumb and Dumber haircut. Like he had a Lloyd Christmas haircut. And would make this goofy, like he acted so much with his face, like comedic acting with his face.
Yeah, like so Jim Carrey-ish facial.
Yes. And I remembered when we were doing the podcast for that drama, and I was looking up the actors like outside of the show, and I saw pictures of him and was like, he's fucking hot. No,
he's really good.
No, we know him from Fight for My Way. He had.
Oh, you're right.
That's how I found out. I'm like, he is like the son in Fight for My Way, like the landlord's son.
You're right.
And I'm like, look at him. He was this gorgeous dude. I'm like, I can't like reconcile that. So it was fun to see him in a role where he was playing a guy that all the women loved and who just like had casual relationships and didn't think anything of it until he walks into Sulo and meets Hajin, and the first thing she says to him basically is like, do you want to sleep with me? And he's like, yeah, I do. And he sleeps with her, and her magical pussy makes him fall in love.
Right. I did not expect this the second lead to just have a one night stand. But let's say, unlike Business Proposal, this one had full consent.
Full consent. Nobody was drunk.
No one was
Thank
drunk.
Fuck. I'll never be over the Business Proposal. Like
I know.
As much as I love those characters, that did not work for me.
That was very weird. It was a weird plot line. But yeah, I did not expect a one night stand. I did not expect it. I really didn't. And
she had the upper hand, which I loved. Because he just fell for her immediately, and she's coming off a divorce of a man who cheated on her, and she has zero trust for men, especially a man like him who she met while he came to her restaurant with his girlfriend and broke up with his girlfriend right in front of her.
And didn't care. Didn't care. That's fine. Yeah, because he wasn't really into her because he hasn't.
No, the girlfriend did the thing. The girlfriend did the thing where she was testing him, and she's like, I think we should break up. And he's like, okay. And then the girlfriend's like, wait, what?
I know.
Yeah.
It was I have to say, Lim Semi is beautiful. I think she has a really unique look.
Yes, gorgeous.
Stunning. At one point, Shinwan draws I mean, I don't know, he's like randomly
He's just randomly an artist. Yeah.
And he draws a picture of her in his room, and it's great. I mean, she's just beautiful. And I thought they were a really good second lead couple. I think that I wanted to see them on screen. Like, it wasn't like they were on screen. I'm like, let's get back to the main couple. I actually really did want to see them, and I wanted to see the resolution. And they were both very likable, and you were rooting for them, but you also understood their separate like motivations.
Yes. I loved that after she told him this can't be anything more than sleeping together, and he was like, well, I want more. So, they're like, let's end this. I loved the montage of him getting drunk and approaching Sulo, and then turning around, like going sober, like so many times trying to go see her. And, and she seems like oblivious to all these times. And then later you get to see that from her perspective. And she saw him every time he came.
Every time. And the fact that he respected when she said no, he's like, okay.
Yeah, he respected her.
Like, he's like, all right, well then this is done, and I won't, because she's like, I don't want to see you anymore. And he's like, okay. And he didn't go. I mean, he like would drunkenly.
He was miserable.
Yeah, he was miserable, and he would drunkenly like come to her restaurant and then turn around because he knew that she said she didn't want to see him. So he was very respectful of her. Okay, so in the end, our leads realize they were meant to be together. The relationship becomes public. Blah, blah, blah. Happy stuff. And the witchy grandmother comes around to see the error of her ways after like 3 people told her she's an asshole. So our listeners had a lot of chatter about how they felt about the grandmother and whether she should be redeemed or not. So do you think her 11th hour apology was redemption, or really just a wrap up for Ju-Yan's storyline himself and not really about the grandmother?
So I'm going to our Instagram conversation here because I thought we had some good reactions here. So I wrote you yesterday, I'm like, God damn it. I wanted to hate Granny so much, and she just made me cry. And then you wrote, Granny, we have to talk about her because Patreon has opinions. And I wrote, I mean, she was truly the worst. But then I can empathize with the fact that losing a child is something from which you can't truly recover. But blaming your grandson and never showing him love is horrible. So yeah, mixed feelings. And you wrote, yeah, same. Their main gripe was over whether she should be redeemed. This is our patrons. Or not. And whether this was actually a redemption or just a tied up plot line for Ji-yeon. I think the latter. And I said, yes, it's an 11th hour. Give him everything he needs for sure. She needs to do the work to actually deserve forgiveness. She burned his fucking toys, for fuck's sake. And then you wrote, burned his toys. I'll never be over that. And I'm like, never.
I won't. Never over it. Yeah, I mean, look, I think they needed the grandmother to do something like this for
him.
And so I don't think the grandmother was redeemed in any way. Mainly because they definitely have her like with her head bent. Like, she's definitely like coming with there's no pride in how she's kind of apologizing. She's like, and I don't think we're meant to like be like, oh, Granny,
automatically forgive her. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's
It was his reaction to her that made me tear up because correct. He needed that so badly. He needed Somebody to tell him it's not your fault.
Yeah, I think he needed the apology. He didn't necessarily need her love, though. And I think that that's it. I think she owed him that apology. And I think as a viewer, that's what we wanted. We wanted an apology, and that's what we got. I don't think it redeemed her. I think
she has years of work ahead of her.
Yeah, I mean, do I think realistically a woman at that age would make a sudden turnaround? No. Like, I'm not saying that but come on, she was absolute witch for her.
Yeah, she was terrible
for like 25 years, and so it wasn't believable to me. But I thought it was needed for Bon Joo-hyun's storyline, and so I was okay with it because it was for him, not her, you know. But yeah, overall, I would say I'm glad I watched this drama. Choi Hyun-wook was great in it, which made me really, really happy. It made me look forward to when he's a little bit older and can be in mature roles.
More grown-up roles. Yeah.
Yeah. In a way, when he was like sitting behind the big desk, it reminded me of Thai BLs where they're like trying to sell me on like 20-year-old men that were just former models. Then you want me to believe that they're like a CEO of a company. I mean,
he's like 23 in real life. I mean, he is still a baby.
He's still a baby. I mean, his frontal lobe has not developed yet. And so I give him a break.
He's 3 years older than my daughter.
Stop it. Stop. Oh no. I don't like that. And
so I cannot.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But yeah. I mean, I love him, and I thought Moon Ga-young, as always, I just think she's super reliable, and she's just really good at what she does. So
it was a great cast. I really did enjoy the whole ensemble. So yeah, I mean, I'd say, if you're looking for a drama recommendation, if you listened all the way to the end and you haven't watched this drama yet, because I don't think spoiling the story will keep you from enjoying it. It's just a lovely little romance to watch. It's not going to be in my top.
Right.
But it's going to be something that I'm going to say I enjoyed.
If you do want to thirst over a man who is over 30, then you can watch Undercover High School.
Oh my God. He's barely over 30 though. He's 31, I think.
I'm hanging on to that 31.
I know.
We
will do a podcast on that one for sure. Because Megan told me to watch it, and I'm only 4 episodes in, and I care not about how redonkulous the story is.
So ridiculous. I don't care. So as we are recording this, the last 2 episodes have not come out. This drama just descends into madness, and I don't care. I don't care.
Starts in madness.
I'll watch Seo Kang-joon do literally anything. So if you need to,
we've a lot to say just about his charm and looks, and I cannot wait to discuss it.
I'm so excited to discuss this insane plot. Like, Amy hasn't even gotten to some of the the more bonkers stuff that's happening. So we will get there. I can't wait. So just so you know, that's what's coming up for us. Stay tuned and watch Undercover High School on Viki.
But thank you for listening to us talk about My Dearest Nemesis. Crackshot, we love you.
No shade to you, Crackshot.
No shade at all.
Your music is great. Your music is great.
And we'll see you all next time.
Annyeong!
감사합니다. Thank you for listening to Afternoona Delight. Where can you find us outside the pod? Head on over to afternoonadelight.com. That's AFTERNOONADELIGHT.com. You'll find links to all our social media, our book recs, K-pop and K-skincare recs, and if you want even more Afternoona Delight, because really who doesn't, you can join our Patreon, where you can choose the patron level that's right for you. Join in daily K-drama conversations, listen to bonus podcast episodes just for patrons, and participate in our monthly live K-drama support group via Zoom. We can't wait for you to be a part of the community. Until next time, annyeong!